Welcome back, everybody, to Gringos Liberados. We have finally found RMC. We discovered him. We lost him for like a month, I feel. He was gone, but we finally retrieved him. Welcome back. Yep, 404 and I have been holding it down as best we can. RMC, how you doing? How's it been on the wherever you've been?
Yeah, so I respawned the wrong Nexus. I found myself on Twisted Tree Line, and they decommissioned the map, so it took me a while to get back.
Damn, how is it over there?
It's empty. Valmo's gone. So rest in peace, Valmo. Peace. To be fair, I wasn't staying away like out of choice. I had work, I had other stuff, and also there were just some episodes where we were trying to get Bren on, we are trying to get some other new people on. So just trying to balance things out a little bit. But very glad to be back, and a very interesting week to be back on as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was, we had the lower bracket this week, but it kind of went more or less as we'd expected it would, but there was some value to be had there for that reason, right? That there's some good news for Loud fans, for fans of the region's strength. The LLA heads got to see an absolute clanger between their reps.
What the hell was that? I was casting that, man. That felt like a fever dream. I know I kind of overuse that expression, but golly.
No, that's for real. Dude, that's what we wanted. That's what it had to be. It had to be this. It couldn't have just been a 3-0 for ISG or something. It would have been so snore. We got the absolute blowout between the two of the three bottom teams, and it delivered. I still got my chosen result. I got my favorite MVP of all time. Bro, I was.
Dude, he popped off, man. He had a great series. He had one unbelievable brain fart.
Yep.
One horrible decision. But other than that, it was a really good series from House.
That's just how House is now. There's at least one complete missing ping moment, and then the rest of it's pretty good. It's not like top class anymore. It's not top 2 in the region anymore. It's pretty good though, and that's just where we are. That's where we are on the cycle.
Well, it's a question of would you rather the House that can carry absolutely amazingly is like top tier, but can only play regular season, or do you want the House that will crop up once, but it's only going to crop up that once in playoffs?
Yeah.
Because you can't have one without the other. That's the calculus you have to make as a House enjoyer. This is what you gotta live with.
Take your poison.
Yeah, pretty much. And as a House enjoyer, I enjoyed House in this series. Let's start with Loud and Fluxy first, because this is potentially a simpler resolution. Loud walking away with the pretty perfunctory 3-0. There were questions as to how good Loud really were, how ready they were going to look for playoffs, if Fluxy was going to show us anything at all. And Loud certainly won the game that they should have won. This was the freebie. They took it. They didn't waste it. They didn't mess around with it, So in a way, the Loud fans can breathe a sigh of relief and could perhaps even tentatively look forward to the next series with a bit of hope. Not necessarily confidence, I would say, but a bit of hope after seeing that they can at least do the job against Fluxy.
Here's my problem. Like, people are saying, there's like the top 4 now with Cade, having swept Furia in the upper bracket. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, and Loud has a chance. And I'm looking at it going like, do they really? I'm still not convinced by Loud. They've lost this split to Cade and Red, who are now top 4. Then they beat Isurus and Fluxy W7M, which doesn't mean anything because they are bottom tier teams. Sorry, House, still bottom tier team. So you've got the top, you've got the bottom, and you've got all that space in between. It doesn't. Mm-hmm. I still don't have a good read on how good this Loud team is. Like, they're exciting to watch. I love it. Griffin's really fun. Jewel seems to be finding his feet as well, which I think is massive. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Griffin, and I was going to say Ripbird, did you all see what Griffin sent Ripbird for his birthday?
Yeah, dude. No. Yeah, the happy birthday from Africa.
Yeah, the cameo.
Have you seen so cute? Do you know what we're talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
it's like people who like like Cameo.
I know what Cameo is, but I've not seen the Cameo.
So it's like, I don't know if it's literally Cameo, but it's effectively Cameo, where there are these dudes in some country in Africa, and they speak in heavily accented English, and they will get like posters and say like, they'll write down whatever your name is, right, and be like, "Happy birthday to Red Butt, we love you," and then they'll like sing and clap and chant, and it's like, 6 big dudes from some country in Africa singing like "Happy Birthday, Redbird." And yeah, Griffin paid for that and then put it on Twitter.
Well, good for Griffin.
I think they did in Portuguese actually. I think.
But
really?
got them to do it in Portuguese. That's crazy.
I might be wrong. I might just not have been able to understand what you're saying.
But
maybe he's super based and went to Angola, which is one of the Portuguese-speaking countries in Africa.
True.
And,
I personally enjoyed Griffin's ab reveal post series win. That was my favorite part.
King shit.
Was absolute king shit. And it was that kind of series from him. He went absolutely bonkers. We got a Volibear game. We got a Trundle game and a Viego game. It was classic Griffin all the way down, and it was just an unreal gap in the jungle, man. Yampi got completely blasted.
Yeah, Grandpa got ran over. Yampi did not look like he knew what was going on around him sometimes. It was...
Yeah.
Look, I'm a Yampi
He looked like me out
supporter.
there, man.
we put Hank on the Rift and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think 4 might have had more impact, especially if he went to grenade Amumu build. Just say like,
just go full Conqueror Dark Harvest AP Amumu. Would have at least
it was just really painful watching that. Like Yampi was kind of just doing his own thing, and Griffin was messing him up, and Yampi would just go doddering right back to whatever the hell he was doing. Like, he wasn't reacting, and I don't know, man. That was rough to watch. Like I felt like Curdy and Fu tried their bestest, but yeah.
I just think Fu's bestest isn't really that good anymore. Did
he get worse? Do we think that Fu has like suffered from his skill level has suffered from being on Flux?
Yes, he's worse.
I think he got worse.
He's very worse for sure.
I still think he'll get like one more contract essentially to kind of prove it, because there is something there, right? But like it's gonna be what team takes the risk of like, okay, you know, if we think it was part of the reason was that he was on a worse team and just wasn't allowed to shine, right? Just trying to play too much hero ball or whatever, right? There's that school of thought. Then okay, who's the team that's going to take a risk and put him on? Unironically, it might be Lev, right? Depending on how things go, right? Maybe How's revived his career enough to where a bigger quote unquote team will take a chance on him, and then Fu goes to Lev. I don't know.
I think Fu is going to spend a split or two down in CD after this.
Could be.
And I don't think it'll be the worst thing for him.
No, I think Greftar is doing great down there. Like Greftar replaced House actually, and Greftar just put a quadra kill on
he's our carry Greftar right now.
Yeah. Tier 2 Greftar is
it goes so crazy.
One of the best players you've ever seen.
He's touched the game. Yeah.
He's so good at League of Legends in Tier 2, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, but like, this was just like, there was just no bright spot for Fluxy in this series, and like they had a win they'd gotten early in the split. They'd have like individual plays that looked fine. It honestly just felt like there was just nothing for nobody never in this series of Fluxy, and it was like they were already out the door. And it's kind of because I think Loud, like the good parts are still good. Robo, Griffin are still really good. Root woke up a little bit. Redbird tightened up a little bit, and then Jewel, I think, got to run kind of rampant over Fu, and this was the most dominant Jewel series we've seen for sure. So it either just tells us that Fu is completely out the door, or Jewel is settling in a little bit, both of which can be true. And I think it's going to be necessary for Loud if they want to do much more, is they need to make sure that Jewel is going to settle in and be good, and that the bot lane can return to somewhere near peak form for either or both of them, which we haven't really seen up till now in this year, but this series is very good just from everywhere from Loud.
Yeah, which kind of begs the question, right? To Armsy's point, how much can we take away from this, right? Are you good, or did you just beat Fluxu? And I do think, again, not to be offensive, but I really do think both things are true here. Like Fluxu is abysmal, like bar none the worst team, like the whole year. They were just bud the entire year, which is a shame because there are a lot of players there like we have a lot of time for, but they're awful. Loud, I think, again, you have to take it upon the backdrop of they did it against a literal like a foil essentially, but they did look better. Right. And the key parts of it looked better. Right. And look, this team is not going to go anywhere unless everyone hits their ceiling, because that's, I think, the other thing that we've seen is with the skill level on this roster. Right. It's just not like you need to have all 5 players firing on all cylinders. And when it does, this team can be really scary. This team can be a legitimate top 3, maybe even, dare I say, championship contender. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch. But like I think that's the thing is you need all 5 players to be firing. And this was the closest we've seen to that. But, when oh, Jewel, if he's not going up against Fu, he can get blasted, right? Like, he going up against Miru, have fun, big dog. Right? If it feels like if you find a place to drive a wedge into, you can just crack open the armor.
But I think that's the problem. We saw Loud firing on all cylinders, but the cylinders weren't necessarily all working the same thing to get, like, they weren't in sync.
Yeah. It's still chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah, even in game 3, when Griffin went 9-1 and 8, like, we're still seeing Jewel and Robo randomly get caught out because it didn't feel like the whole team was working together. It's just individually, they're all really, really good. And individually, they're just running over their opponents, and then Fluxu just can't match up.
Yeah, and that's good enough against Fluxu, but against better teams, it's not going to be good enough.
Up against the top 4. Heck, even up against Leviathan right now. I'm actually not convinced that Loud is ready to even take on Leviathan. Like, I think Lev could take
on Leviathan. That's are you coming around that hard on Leviathan after what we've seen against ISG?
No. I well, a little bit, but also I just think that for Loud, like right now, this is why I would have loved to see this particular iteration from the beginning of the year. I think they just need more time to gel together. Like, I think they're starting to trust each other a bit more.
Yeah,
but the coordination for me is just kind of not there yet.
Yeah, like. There's beating Fluxu and there's battering Fluxu, which is what they did, which is a good sign because they didn't have no game took more than 30 minutes. Like they just cleaned them out every single time, even if it wasn't the best. This was not like a Furia win or like an old school Furia win where it feels like they feel like very much a team when they are playing. They play very high tempo and aggressive, but they're still playing together. When it's all working well, right? But that's another question for Furia later on. But Loud don't feel like that yet. That's absolutely true. Yeah. Now, I don't think I would not class them as ready to take on Leviathan, as you've said, RMC. And I'm the guy who's been predicting Leviathan for the last couple of weeks.
That's right.
Before anyone else was willing to give them a chance. But, like, Leviathan certainly won that series against ISG. But as, we'll get into, we didn't really see much to be, like, super proud of from anybody, like, from either team necessarily here. There's definite improvement. There's definite positives again, but I think if Loud was against Leviathan now, I would probably take Loud 3-1, I think. Like, I don't think they would sweep them out the way they've done Fluxu, no, but I don't think I'd give Leviathan a 5th game.
To defend myself a little bit, the reason why I was kind of comparing Isurus and Loud, I know it's a bit of a stretch, is because I do feel like Isurus played a bit like how Loud played. I don't feel like they felt connected at all either. Like Zamudo and Jose Diodo were doing phenomenally well individually, but they were not connecting whatsoever as a team. And that felt a lot like Loud, but worse. So you're probably right. Like Leviathan's probably going to lose because Loud's just better Isurus right now with the potential to actually click. And considering how much Lev struggled against Isurus, Loud will probably beat them. But
yeah. So... do we have any other thoughts on Loud or Fluxu before we talk about Lev and Isurus in a bit more detail?
Not me.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll talk about the future matchups later.
This weekend, yeah.
Okay, so Lev and Isurus, 3-2 for Lev. Another glorious victory on the road to redemption for Leviathan. And this is exactly what we thought it was going to be. There were, as you kind of flagged up already, RMC, Jose Diodo was really trying his best to win the series. Yep. Leza really does not have the juice right now. And
he's not ready.
And the big switch up, Zamudo in top lane, replacing Zoan, looked like it was actually very, very good. It looks like he was able to hold his own way better than Zoan was. And was able to handle and bring the fight to Zothvi, who has been pretty flawed this split as well. So especially in that first game, it looks like, wow, this Zamudo thing is actually he's gonna swing it. He's gonna tip the scales for ISG. And there were a lot of good things to see there for this player that is just on loan for now. Will be going and joining Lyon in 2026. It's my understanding. But
look, there's a lot of time between now and 2026.
It looks fun. It looks like a fun.
There's a promo relegation series between now and
then. Looks like a fun, good player. But I think they'd definitely be happy to have him for that promo relegation series because he looked like a potential win condition player that you can build around.
He looked good.
Yeah, I do want to remind everybody, this is not Zamudo's first run in the Sao Paulo arena.
Like, he came down here and got his ass beat earlier.
Yep. He won one series in Challengers Americas back when he was on Maryville,
Dragonsteel or whatever.
Dragonsteel, yeah, was at the time.
Wasn't that the team that talked a whole lot of trash and then completely folded?
Yeah, that was when that was when LTA North stalwart Scary Jerry came down here and said, "I don't think we're gonna lose a single game," and then just got promptly bounced out of the tournament.
I mean, to be fair, they did crush the North at that time. Like,
yep.
They were the best team coming in.
Yeah, they were
just tripped up,
but they got their ass whooped.
But then they came to the South, obviously. They came to the South. They came to the real region.
They came to the better tier 2 region,
and the exposures were made. You know,
they got dog walked.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I feel bad for Zamudo because this was supposed to be a redemption arc, and then it wasn't.
And I think it's sort of what like we were all saying is like, look, it does suck that you go down. And like the thing that the casuals are going to remember is, Zamudo goes down to South and loses, right? Question mark ping. But he looked a lot better. And again, look, dude, this is his first time on a team where like, and again, look, I don't know how good his Spanish, is or isn't, because the plan was for him to play on Lion, right? So this, like him jumping into ISG shouldn't be like completely like, I don't know what's going on, the cultural language, like, in theory, it shouldn't have been that big of a deal. But it's still like, he'd been down there for like a week or two, if that, right? Like you have to give him some slack.
He got a full week,
No, exactly. And to be fair, like if there's a position to play when you're going to get just dropped into something like this, it's top lane. And I think he performed, given the circumstances, very admirably.
Yep.
Yeah. He was good.
He won his lane matchups. But and that's the problem with this was that they just could not connect. And that's not even just a Zamudo issue. Like looking at the way Leza and Snaker are playing as well, they weren't really connecting with the team. And there's no excuse for Snaker.
Bro, where's playoff Snaker? Where is he? Where is he at? We never saw him. He never showed up. You missed it. You missed playoffs this split. Even the Zeri couldn't do it.
Yeah, I was excited for that. I'm like, dude, if this is where we get it right now.
It was one of his better games, but wasn't good, man. The
Kalista in the last game.
Dude, I was waiting for the AP Kalista to come out.
It, dude.
I was waiting for the AP Kalista.
I couldn't believe it, man.
God. Like I joked on the cast. I was like, well, okay. Congratulations, Leviathan, on your win, Isurus. Good luck in the promotion tournament. Haha, just kidding. Gonna go back to being a caster.
No, but it was the AP build too, which choked me. I was like, "Where's this coming? Like, what?"
So, I'm sure many viewers will have seen the Twitch clips of Kalista's killing Barons from 5k HP or whatever with like AP rend, but like that doesn't solve the whole game. You can't just rely on that, and it's
exactly. And Kalista is a champion where you have to get going early, and if you index too much into AP, right? If you ignore the AD side of it, the snowball doesn't get rolling. Like if you're going to show up to the bottom of the mountain and end up with a thing that wipes out Wile E. Coyote without doing the work of making the snowball at the top of the mountain first. What are you doing, right? That's not like it gives you an option later into the game. You're not supposed to go. It's supposed to be like Nashers, right? You're supposed to like index a little bit and do it later, right? Like just to give you a little more balance, a different way to play out the late game, right? These buffs did not do anything to solve things in the early game for her.
You need a really good early game setup, potential extra jungle attention, a matchup that you can't lose, and the skill to pilot the champion through that tough stage of the game, none of which I feel was present here. I just don't think Snaker's the guy for Kalista, let alone AP Kalista, right? I've went through my whole thing when I didn't think Smiley was the guy for Kalista in any context, when in that first split I believe he wasn't. He became it later, but this just wasn't it for Snaker. This was not the choice. And like, I guess on the positive way to look at it is I do think Seo has actually had quietly a really good split on a team that has just about got their feet under them enough to not have an embarrassing split. They've settled and they're going to end up roughly where they should, which is, about 5th, 6th. But, and I think largely the fact that Seo has been really, really solid in this split. He's been doing absolutely what he needs to do. Sometimes he can't, there's nothing he can do, right? Sometimes you've got Corki and the whole team's on fire and you're like, well, let's go next. But he's always ready. When the opportunity is there for him to carry, he's always taking it. So I'm very happy with Seo.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I'm looking at the other side of that bot lane as well, like top lop, the support for Seo. I'm still not sold on top lop on engaged champions. I'm still not a huge fan. But I like his enchanters. Like the Lulu Bard games. Those were good. And I think you can just put CEO on hyper carries and give top lop enchanters, and that bot lane actually works a lot better.
Yeah, double tank top side, or like at least double CC top side, and then enchanter support. Maybe a bit of CCs there and then if you can get like maybe the Nico sometimes, right? If we have to, but sometimes. But then just like an Enchanters and Bard's a great example, right? Is also having like a lot of utility in that champ as well as the ability to play range 2v2. So yeah, I mean, Toplop's fine. He's all right. He's doing better than Prods ever did on this roster and also on Fluxu. So it's not like completely league defining as a roster move, but I think it's an upgrade. Then we have to kind of contend with House's impact on the game, which is, as we say, still there's like he still isn't the guy to 1v9 like a whole game. You can't put it all on his shoulders, but with a more well-rounded team, with a very reliable carry right next to Inseo, there's room for House to have an impact and be good, right? And it seems like they've got a good idea of what champs for him to play, and they're not feeding him all the gold on the map. So they've learned, I think, not to not to just invest that heavily. A bit of diversification of the portfolio is needed.
Yeah, no, because you got to show up for the weaknesses on this roster. Because I think there's a very flawed roster, but I feel like we're sort of having the House conversation about Leviathan as a whole. Like, you see the vision, right? Like all the things that you guys just say, I'm just kind of piecing together in my brain. Like, yeah, okay, if you put CEO on these types of champions, great. If you put Top Up on these types of champions, great, right? Like House is going to be a serviceable, and the downside is there, but the upside is still pretty dang high on House, especially in the types of the number of different champions you can play, right? The number of different playstyles you can run with him, right? You have a bona fide carry in the mid lane. And then Scary, he's always been best on the tank and spank junglers, right? Like you said, Trajan, double tank top side, and just play the 5v5 team fight hyperscaler comp, right? Put House on the Azir, right? Put this CEO on the hyper carry. You have to get to the late game, right? Which can be the tricky part, right? But House can do that too, right? The vision is there.
We ended up kind of like split to VKS, and it's just like, well, as long as our top laner isn't 1 and 9, like maybe we can play.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that we're talking about House, like, he's still good. But y'all, in CD, he was not good. Like, on that Kaboom roster, House was kind of a problem for his team. Like, he was not carrying late game. So I feel like he's one of those cases where if you drop him in tier 2, he gets worse. Like, now that he's back in tier 1, though, he looks way better than he looked in CD. Like, his carry potential is actually back. In CD, it felt like he lost his carry potential. So very glad to see that from House. And this is also why I was kind of saying I think Loud matched up poorly into Leviathan. Because if Loud is a team who's kind of just win lane, win game, Leviathan's the opposite. They just need to survive the laning phase. They feel like what I thought Issa's Estrel was going to be back in Split 1, where it's like, oh, get Sneaker Ackerman to team fight stages and we're fine. They're not going to win lane. They're going to be a massive deficit, so just survive. Leviathan feels like that right now. Like, Zoffy lost lane to Zamudo almost every single game. Yeah. But Zoffy had way more impact outside of lane than Zamudo had. CEO and Toplop, well, they were mostly doing fine in lane. Like, so it's hard to say that, but I feel like even if CEO Toplop gets down in lane, if you give Toplop an enchanter, give CEO a carry, they won't feed. And once they get to like that 30-minute mark, like they're online regardless, whatever the hell happened prior to that. So I think Leviathan can be a team that bites back against, and they're very resilient nowadays, I feel like, with this particular iteration.
But much more so than they were last split.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I'd worry I worry too much about the top side matchup for Lev Loud in the same way for Loud versus who was it? I think this is for the Fluxu series, and we were talking about like, do we even give Fluxu a game? And I was like, the top side gap is just too massive, man. I think the top side gap is not nearly as massive, but I think it is still quite pronounced in Lev Loud.
Sure, yeah.
And because like Zamudo is definitely skilled and talented, but again, dropped into this roster with less than a week practice, there's only so much we can do. Whereas even Loud have had more practice than that with this roster, and Robo is obviously very accomplished in being left mostly to his own devices to just cause havoc. So I think that top side would be very problematic, and whether House could actually get one over on Jewel or not, it's hard to say where Jewel's going to land in kind of the hierarchy, and where House even is currently, and especially in a 1v1 capacity. They're both kind of shaky still. And then bot lane is again kind of a coin flip. It's like two very reliable carries most of the time, and then two real kind of weird, untrustworthy supports. So it's, again, I feel like it would end up coming down to a top gap that would make it Loud favored.
So it sounds like there's a decent chance, Trajan, what you're laying out here.
So I think it would be a top gap, but I think the top gap is so pronounced that it would actually result in, like I say, at best a 3-1 for Loud. Maybe not even that. But anyway, they're not playing against each other. And let's be real, guys. They're quite unlikely to play against each other. If the next round of that lower bracket is Loud versus Lev, then just throw the whole thing out and we'll stop podcasting and stop bothering trying to talk about it because, there's just no point at that point. Nope. So
okay, wait. Before we move on to like the matches, and questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As a follow up to that, Trajan, hypothetical question: which 3 teams would y'all most want to see go to the regional championships? Like not who do you think will make it, but who do you love to have seen make it?
Are we assuming that the 2 that are already there have to be a part of this?
No.
No.
In that case, it's probably like Furia, Loud, and this is just the cross conference, right?
Yeah, just the cross conference.
It's Red or VKS.
I think it's Furia, Loud, Pain. I think you need Titan at an international event at the cross conference.
Okay. I was near Maximal Chaos. I want Pain, obviously, because Pain fan. But Loud and Red making it would have been so much fun.
I want Kaze there, right? I want FMB there,
right?
Importantly, and I want Kaze
there.
I
want FMB to fight against international.
Titan
Small
can
eye,
go,
but still international.
Titan can go next year, man. He'll still be here. He'll still be the best AD carry. But Furia, because I want Furia to play more international because I think they're really fun and they've shown us like a lot of. They're very dangerous there. They could they can upset people, right? From how they play. Mm-hmm. Loud because Griffin and kind of Robo to hope that we could maybe get like a redemption arc for Robo at any kind of international event maybe, but mostly Griffin. And then Red because Kaze and FMB. So that Furia Loud Red would be my favorite.
Yeah. Furia have to go though. Yeah. Especially after last split. Like
they had their international.
No, they need a chance to redeem themselves. They need a chance to build on it. It simply must happen.
Yeah, Coach CL would be fun to have on site, just because
this is true.
Because of the bants and the content there, and like, but I don't care enough. I think about the VKS players individually. For me, for that like experience, there's individuals that I want to get to that place, like individual players I want to get to that place, and that's kind of largely my reasoning.
Fair enough. Yeah, there is a world Fury doesn't make it, and we're
it's a very real world. Yeah.
There are more. There's more than one world.
Yeah, there's multiple worlds. Okay, let's quickly take a look at fantasy. To acknowledge the return of RMC to the podcast and the return to the top of the standings.
I've never been at the top, so that's new to me.
You've been at the top 5 before, but maybe not number 1.
I was stuck at 4th last split. Always trolling, and Lunar was at the top.
And with a pretty healthy
split, I was stuck at 3rd for the longest time.
14 points clear, another 15 or so to 14 points clear of Rambling, then to Paradox, then Liz, one of Liz's teams, Depression Liz, and then Lunar Day returning spookily to the bottom of the table to threaten. I was at a wedding in Leicester this week and forgot to change my roster, so I've got basically 0 points because I'm a genius. And the week before that, I had Furia. I just picked the wrong horse in both the upper bracket matches, I think. So I got basically no points there. I mean, most of us got no points there because I think no one expected it to be quite that bad. But the ones who took Pain over Red in a perfectly reasonable decision got some kind of payout, which obviously RMC was a big winner on that front. So
it's funny because this week too, I think it's the first time this split that I actually got champion picks right.
Nice.
Like literally that just boosted me to the top, was actually picking champions instead of what I wanted to see. I picked champions who
and you need to get the champion on the big game as well, on like the pop-off games if you have the right champion as well. Does huge work. Okay, so we do have a Pain game as well this week coming up. So RMC surely that won't go wrong for you, RMC. The Pain game coming up. Surely there will be no threats. Surely not.
Yeah. I mean, up against Kates, there's not even a top 2 team, right? That's how it works.
True.
So true. So true, bestie. So we have Fury Loud, Red Lev, and VKS Pain. Remember, everybody, this is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday week. So we have a triple header. And Furia Loud, to bounce forward from this Loud question that we'd had before. Is Loud actually good? Who knows? Are Furia even good? Who knows?
Yeah,
From what we saw against VKS, I don't know, man. That certainly wasn't good. That series certainly wasn't good. That's for sure.
Yeah, and as much as I give Cade credit and for how they prepared for that particular series, we had Gigon on show that day.
Yeah.
Like, was it 06-0, 16-0, and I can't remember the other score, but it was.
That's crazy because we haven't seen Gigon in a while.
No.
Like, like we sort of mentioned it as like a perfunctory, like, oh, here's like a bit we can do for him, haha. But like, that hadn't been a thing in, like, I'm not going to say years, splits.
Most of the year he's been God mode, and like at international I give him a pass because he's playing against actually really, really good players most of the time.
He was
so
fine.
Sometimes
he was good at international,
and there were some good games for him there as well, some good players and some good moments there as well. So we even at international we weren't Gigon. We were actually barely Gigon at all until last week or week before last.
You play Cade and you run up against Bowl.
Against the GOAT Bowl, who
broken blade is no Bowl. Let me put it that way.
No, but so Bowl had like and they were playing kind of how we expect that needs to be played, which is very much not protecting Bowl, but kind of gracefully losing the lane, and he was perfect at that. Right, he did exactly what he needed to do, which was gracefully lose the lane in losing matchups where Furia were actively picking to try and dominate him as they normally do, but it just didn't work this time.
That was only one game though. Bro Camille'd Gigo.
He did the Camille Gigo counter pick. Yeah, he did the Camille Gigo.
That was kind of
that game. He crushed it. Yeah, that game just lives rent free in my head. I know like Furia kind of gave up that game. Like they looked really wiped out. I think they got 2 kills that game or something like that.
Yeah,
like, but still, Bo out Camille, the OG Camille. Like what?
Yeah. And it seems like VKS are really momentum based as well. From how they play and from their behind the scenes stuff, like it seems like they're very momentum heavy. So if they start making silly mistakes and playing worse than they believe they should, they probably won't play good for the rest of the series. They're not going to get better, it seems. But if they come out with the right head on their shoulders, they absolutely swept them out. So the other part I think for Furia here, because that in that series, Tattoo was absolutely trying his little butt off to get them over the line. He was very Jose Diodo-esque in that series, but Tuts was completely gapped as well. That was absolutely tragic for Tuts. So he is on a real downswing right now, as Miryu has rocketed to the top of the mid leaderboard like in 2 weeks. So that we need to solve that as well, because if we're letting Jewel play, as when Fu let Jewel play, Jewel was actually really like dominating in lane. He was like threatening solo kills, he was pushing him around all the time, he was playing up, but he wasn't getting caught. Jewel, when he was clearly confident, was really scary. And if Tuts is going to let that happen to him as well, which he doesn't have to, Tuts has gotten fair share of solo kills in his time and has been the best mid laner in this region as early as last split. We can't let this happen again. Otherwise, that's going to be a big, big problem for Furia. That hole in the mid lane, I think, is a big issue for them.
Yeah. No, I've got nothing really to add there. It is unfortunate to see Tuts go back to being, mercurial kind of 2024 Tuts, where you see the highs there. And I mean, because again, for the majority of 2025, he was the best mid laner, right? But like, even then, he never, I'll say personally, never like blew me away, right? And I think that's more of a strength of what Tattoo and Gigo were doing, that you didn't really kind of pay attention to Tuts in a good way. But yeah, man, he's got in theory a favorable matchup here, and he's got to exploit it if this team has a chance. Because Loud, look, I think they are a worse team than Furia, but if you're not kind of minding your P's and Q's, Loud can roll you.
Yep,
like they are talented and chaotic enough to where they can roll you.
Yeah, I'm just super excited for the jungle matchup. Griffin versus Tattoo.
That's
like two of our most explosive junglers in the region. Like
we've not seen it yet, right?
Pardon?
I don't think we've seen it yet either. We've not seen that jungle matchup yet.
No, we haven't, because Griffin just came in split, right? So they've never matched up. Griffin was not playing the NACL when Tattoo was in CBLOL Academy, because Griffin went off to Korea to boot camp, so they had no chance to meet in Challengers Americas. So huge matchup between the two. And I really do think the solo lanes more than anything else will affect us. Like if Jewel, the Jewel Tuts, the mid lane especially, whoever gets prio is probably going to move first. Top is already going to be spicy, because Gigo versus Robo is always an interesting match. I was gonna say it's always a good match. It's like, well, they both throw pretty hard sometimes. So it's a very interesting top lane that already happens, but they will move to back up the junglers, 100%. So depends on who's moving from the mid lane to back them up. I think it could decide the jungle matchup. Like Redbird and Jojo, I'm less like hyped about how the supports are going to be moving in this one, because the way Tatu and Griffin play a lot of times with how aggressive they are, a lot of times the supports don't have time to move back them up on their invades. So it's more really about the solo.
Yeah, I think Ayu and Jojo should handily get the upper hand here in bot lane. I think Root and Redbert, they've stopped like completely sprinting it, but I don't think they're like really controlling the 2v2 that well. I like they were against Marvin Prods, and Prods has been just a bit hapless, and like that was the time when they stopped making egregious mistakes. I think before that, Redbert had his Pike game and stuff, right? So there's been like a couple of pop-offs from Redbert, but largely I think Ayu and Jojo have been really, really good still. Like Ayu, Tatu, Jojo are the strong performers right now from Furia. And there's just enough like flexibility in the bot lane pool, especially right now for Ayu, and like enough flexibility in the support pool. I think they always get the advantage. I just kind of want Furia to play for that and maybe not play for Gigo like they normally do. They normally are topside focused. They get more grubs than dragons. They like are way more present on Gigo's side of the map. They draft him Jace, they draft him Rumble, they dive for him. Like they do so much up there. I kind of want them to do some bot lane focus here because I think that's probably the easiest place for them to do that. And then we maybe have to see
a more favorable matchup.
Yeah, we maybe have to see how mid goes in like game one and see like, okay, can we do like a Kale for Tuts, or do we need to do Solia for Tuts? You know, like what do we what's the vibe here for you?
I fully agree. But Tatu and Gigo just has something going on. Tatu spends most of his first ganks in top side.
Yeah, he's always there. Like that is just the tried and true for Furia is goes top. And it normally works. Almost all year. It works. And
that's kind of my concern a little bit, is that Griffin doesn't. Griffin will do whatever the hell he wants. And half the time it's actually invades that causes his first action to happen, which is why I'm looking at this whole lanes to back him up. But there's also a very real world in which Tatu's ganking top and Robo goes, I got this. And Robo is a specialist at dealing with pressure. So Griffin might just go bot. And the next thing we know, Root and Redbird get advantage in a lane that they're not supposed to be advantaged in.
Yeah.
Tuts and Ayu, Ayu and Jojo tend to vanish a little bit in laning phase when they don't have advantages. And then Jojo actually sits in lane a lot of times with Ayu to kind of babysit through rough phases. And if that happens, then suddenly it's like, well, we're back to topside being the deciding thing again, or mid lane jungle being the deciding thing again.
I don't know, man. If Furia like from 2 weeks ago shows up, it's just like such an easy 3-0. But if last week's Furia shows up, I don't know what's gonna happen.
It could be an 0-3.
It could be an 0-3, man. They were so bad against BKS. Like it feels like a lot of chickens are coming home to roost for Furia came home to roost in that series, all at the same time, very hard. And like, have we learned? Have we fixed? Are we spiraling? Like, what is the response to that been in the Furia camp to such a bad result? Such a shock bad result. Like, are we now going to address the problems? Do we have time to address the problems? If you kind of look throughout the rest of the year, have kind of always been there. They've just not been punishable. So I don't know. There's got to be like a lot of fear in the hearts of the recently massively grown Furia fan base, at least of the league team necessarily. About this series, because Loud are looking. The Loud are always like this, man. They're always like lower bracket killers. They're always
they skill and
speed bumps. Like, and Furia might just bomb out of the playoffs 0-2 in series again, like they did in Split 1. Like, to go from all the way to the bottom to winning Split 2 to back to 0-2 in playoffs, like, come on now, we don't want to see that.
No,
I will say though, I don't believe that Furia players will have any fear going in. I think they're just their mentals are strong.
No, I would hope not. So I think this one's going to be kind of messy, kind of spicy. I think it's going to get kind of down in the dirt, but Furia are good at down in the dirt, especially when they are better than their opponents. They scrap their way out of situations they have no business escaping from a lot, and I don't know if this Loud has the juice. As you say, RMC, they're not playing super well together yet. I think that this Loud might be the one getting a bit of taste of their own medicine from splits past and tripping up with a lead, or kind of losing control of a later stage of the game against the more experienced team. Not even fully more experienced, but as a 5-stack. So I think this is like, I kind of feel like it's actually a 3-0 or an 0-3. Like, I kind of don't think it's
okay. Why don't we do predictions now? So Trajan, you're saying 3-0 Furia, 4-4?
I think I'm doing 3-0 Furia. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 3-2 Furia. I think this is gonna get really sloppy.
It's gonna sweat us right to the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I can't take that.
I hope, but I think Loud are going to play with a lot of confidence, and again, whether that confidence is earned or not, right? That's not important. I think they're going to play really, really confidently because they just absolutely beat the brakes off of Fluxu. I think Furia will punish them more than Fluxu, but like I hope that Furia really come to play and are on their, again, on their P's and Q's. Like, because if they don't, I don't trust. And maybe I should. I don't know why I don't, but it would. I would find it unlikely that Furia go from looking the worst we've literally ever seen them in 2025 to good enough to handily dispatch a very chaotic Loud team.
Yeah, that would be
I just don't see that reality.
That's fair enough. I mean, part of me thinks like I actually do think Loud is exploitable right now. Griffin has looked best on his comfort champions like Mbessa, like Volibear. And Thinkard's gonna know this. I mean, Thinkard's a meta. He knew of Griffin before Griffin like went to Korea and everything. So I'm sure Thinkard knows. My head's telling me Furia will actually pretty handily dispatch Loud, but my heart really wants Loud.
It would be so funny if Loud wins.
Be. And I think I was like the one who was pushing really hard for Loud at the beginning of this split when we did the power rankings.
And how else are we going to get out of a Loud red match? We need Loud to win, or we can't get the Loud red match. And then what's the point of all of this if we can't?
Yeah, you know what? I do one Hopium prediction every time I'm on, and I'm back on, and I don't need the Hopium for pain. So I'm going to use it on Loud. I'm going to go for a Loud 3-1.
You don't need the Hopium.
I think if it goes 5 games, Loud loses. So
okay, well, you might be in need of that Hopium for pain in a minute, but let's.
No, I don't. Pain's got this. I don't need Hopium for pain.
Okay, so yeah, I think it's. It's Furia favored, but we have the big swing from RMC for Loud, which is fair enough. It's like I say, it definitely feels possible. Feels way more possible than it should feel. But that's just the way it is. So, and like game 1, Gigo first picks Mbessa. Game 2, Gigo first picks Volibear. We just take Griffin's whole pool and give it to Gigo, and then he just plays it out because they're both kind of like strong in lane, right? You use the bans to sort the matchup to just steal Griffin's jungle picks. That's.
Oh, Trajan, if they follow that game plan, I think you might need to change it to 3-1 because the last time Gigo played Volibear.
Look, okay, didn't they? No, they didn't win that game. I always somehow think they won that game. They didn't.
Bro, inted it.
It was very bad.
He went movement speed so he could run faster.
Yeah, to run back to base. Okay, Red Lev. Now, from what we saw from Red in that Pain series, they took a game and they had like a very strong game in that series, but ultimately Red were the ones who came looking more like, or Pain were the ones who came looking more like themselves, and then that seemed to be too much for a Red team that is still rough around the edges, that is still fresh and still trying to find their kind of strategic depth, I think, and when Pain were not willing to be run over the same way they were last time, it definitely caused Red a lot of problems. So they've still got just miles of firepower out the wazoo on this team, but against the team with a plan, they cannot just free win every time. Now, does Lev have a plan? And does Lev have enough firepower, as you said, RMC, that they kind of need to get through the lane to really have a chance? Are they going to get through the lane against Red? Because that doesn't seem very likely, given what we've seen from both these teams.
No, House has never won against Doom, Kaze, Rebella.
The GOATs.
I don't think that changes now.
Crazy stat.
So,
yeah.
It's
crazy we can already say that with definitive, with multiple, with an actual array of data proving this. Like, it's not even.
Yeah, they played in CD
conjecture.
multiple times. It just never happened, and I don't see it happening here. I think Red. I'm going to call it Red 3-0. Like, I literally don't see a single lane where I think Leviathan wins. Like, the closest is maybe bot lane, CEO matching up to Rebello, but I think Frosty bodies top, like, blows top up right out the water. And Rebello, CEO, Rebello looking a little bit better than CEO right now. Even if CEO returns to form, I don't think it's that much higher than Rebello compared to what everything else this team brings. So, yeah, I think this is one of the worst matchups for Leviathan.
Yes,
like, the worst would be Pain, but this is pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's much hope for Lev here. I'm ready to get off the Lev train. I've ridden it as far as it will take me, which was 2 stops, which is further than many thought they would go. and that's enough now. That's enough for me. They took out the worst team, they took out the second worst team, and now it's time for them to settle into their rightful place as the third worst team and lose to Red.
Here.
And that's fine, that's fine. That's okay. I also think it's going to be a 3-0.
Loud, maybe, but
yeah, I think it's going to be 3-0. I think Kaze is going to absolutely blow mid out, man. Like, it's just who's going to stop him.
That mid matchup will be fun to watch. I hope we get some fireworks.
Unless they do like Pantheon Annie and they just literally live and they 2v1 in mid and they just both lane against him or something. I don't know, man. I don't think we're dealing with
Kaze would just go like Akali and somehow dodge
just 1v2 them.
Kill both of them, double kill, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be unfortunate. And then even like FNB is going to style on Zothvi for sure. Yeah. And then, as you say, the bot lane. Yeah, the bot lane's the closest option, but it's not favored for left. Not even slightly. So
like the thing with Zothvi too is like, honestly, I've been quietly impressed with Zothvi. I was very down on Zothvi at first, beginning of the split. But I think he's shown that he's not that carry top laner that we are used to seeing in Brazil.
Yeah,
but he's a very good utility top laner, and he's definitely had a lot of impact for his team. But before the merger, before there was Zothvi, if we're talking utility top laners in Brazil, there was Weiser and there was FNB. So FNB can carry and can utility better than you. It's like, I'm sorry, Zothvi. This is like that's why I said this is the worst matchup for Leviathan because
it's just not going to be good. So like, and I'm glad that you've come around to my Zothvi modest approval, I guess, position.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
which is as far as we got, but was more than again. Yeah, a lot of people were super down on him, to be fair. But I think there was always something about him that I think this guy's actually all right. It's the Hidan thing, right? It's the same thing. This guy's actually all right, and I think Hidan was kind of the same on Fluxu. But Zothvi has a role that he can perform. But like, let's not see the Gwen anymore, man. Like the Gwen, I don't think is the best way for us to use Zothvi.
Gwen is not utility Zothvi.
No, it isn't. So I think RMC, you and I are probably hardcore 3-0s on this one. 4-4. Are we any different, or do we have any?
I'll say 3-1 just to be different. But
and I mean, like, it's not like a complete nonsense. Like, because these two teams are breathing different oxygen right now. Depending on how closely the Lev coaches have studied that Pain series, which I imagine is probably quite closely now, there are ways to limit Kaze if you get him off certain champs, certain types of picks in a best of 5 fearless. I think Kaze's pool really started to fall apart quite even quicker than the game 5 what I was expecting. Right, I think by even later in that series, we were seeing real lack of impact from him on champs that we just hadn't seen him play much throughout he was playing Lucian mid in game 4, bro. No one's we're not playing Lucian mid, man. No one's playing Lucian mid, and it was completely ineffectual. Like, I don't know if they were trying to overcook in it and try to like reach too hard for a counter or something, or if they really were like, I don't know what to play here,
Yeah.
Well, I think specifically, like, Kaze does have other champions he can play. So the choice for the Lucian, I wonder how much of that was like, because I don't remember the draft order now. I don't remember if like the Lucian was picked to maybe like bait and then flex away from bot lane. Into another matchup.
It could have been an overcooking scenario.
Yeah, especially like with the Dr. Mundo. Like I can see the vision. You're running double AD carry or double marksman with a hyper tank. The idea is there. And I part of me also feels like Red did overcook in that they felt, I think, a little bit too comfortable against Spain. And if they were top side, so they knew that they had the extra life if they fell. So I'm going to attribute that more towards cooking. I actually feel like in order for them to replicate what Pain did, a lot of it needs to come from the jungle. Because Carioca was the one who really shut down Kaze, in my opinion. Like, he was camping that lane, and a lot of his picks had good utility into whatever Kaze was playing. So if Lev want to copy that, can Scary pull a Carioca? Like...
I think it's not outside of his wheelhouse. I think when Scary is on form, I think he can play. He'll do the same job, like of being very heavily like successfully enabling his lanes. But
so if anything, then I'm looking at Scary a little bit to try and shut down Kaze.
And like, I'm pretty sure someone could maybe correct me here, but I'm pretty sure he had the Lucian locked in before the Talia was locked in response.
Let me check.
Which was the bonkers part, if I'm remembering correctly. because it's like you've left this open and we've like blinded Lucian mid with MF bot lane, so there's no like, and you've muted yourself, RMC.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was just checking the pick ban. So Lucian was the first pick for red that game.
So they went
beat Lucian Aurora, and first pick for Pain was the Vi.
So they slammed 2 flexible laners first.
Yep.
Right.
And then Talia came. So they R5 Misfortune. So the Talia came in blind.
Yeah.
And then they flexed.
Blindish.
Yeah, I think they overcooked. I think the idea was they're trying to
really
bait something, and then
But it just looked like, because like there's been the pool that Red was using, especially mid, was pretty tight in this split. Obviously, this is not Kaze's first split in League, right? As you say, he has other champs he can play, but they were using him in a very specific way. And like, unless someone tells us not to use these champs, we're going to use these champs. And as soon as they stopped using these champs, we had a big problem. And this is against Pain, who let them use those champs before and got completely blasted. Like, they gave Kaze Silas, like, they got completely run over. And I think they were like, okay, let's just push him off these picks that he's been playing all split. And it did feel like the impact was heavily reduced. And obviously, Karaoke potentially had a big impact on trying to actually focus that out.
He has those champions. Like, I remember Kaze playing LeBlanc. And I think
I was picking LeBlanc on fantasy because I was like, this is surely a Kaze pick. Someone's going to ban Silas and they're going to ban Akali and he's going to pick LeBlanc because that's like the next thing that he's going to do. And he hasn't done it. And I'm kind of sad because I didn't get fantasy bonus
he's even
points
got a Yasuo pocket. And if you're picking 80s in the mid lane, I remember he has a Smolder actually as well. That does pretty well. So,
yeah, I think so.
Does he?
His pool is big.
Does he
just
have a Yone? Does he not have a Yone?
Oh, yeah, he definitely. Yeah, he has. He has
like,
Yone.
This seems like it should be a no-brainer for Kaze to have a Yone.
Yone got banned in that series.
Yeah.
So, or in that game. So he didn't get. But there was a Yasuo option as well if he wanted to do that. I don't necessarily think it would have been the best thing, but he's got a champion. Bro even played Zoe actually. I remember that in CD.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the return of Zoe.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has a lot of. Like, this has to be an overcooked situation. I don't think you can really that easily ban out Kaze. You can target him and try and push him onto weird things.
Yeah.
And punish those, but yeah.
So we'll see if maybe Red has got a better taken some data from that and gone, okay, right, when they ban Silas and we can't play Akali every other game, what are we gonna pick now? It's like let's think about this again. And maybe we'll see better from them. So yeah, there's definitely a world where Lev could get a game by, I think, destabilizing Red, because they have shown that they can be in some way. And Lev have improved since the start of the split. So cool. Let's see it. All right, and the last one, because we have to do 3 series, is VKS Pain, when RMC has already spent his hopium for this week.
Yeah, hold on.
Loud.
Don't need it.
So 404, let's start with you. VKS Pain, what do you think we're going to see here? Because Pain couldn't cleanly take it over Red, but they were very dominant there, and obviously VKS just put the best series of their entire lives on against Furia. So what are we feeling here?
Let me hold on. My dad is trying to call me. I'm going to tell him.
Ask him what does he think.
Just ask your dad.
Is he a Pain or
Pain or Cade?
Guerrero?
15, question mark.
Target Warriors.
I tried to think of something clever there. I don't know. I don't know what team he would root for. I think he would think that Pain Gaming is a funny and clever name because he's a a middle-aged older.
So just appreciate that.
He's like, that's funny.
Half a joke,
and he's a Pain's action. So,
I feel like I'm getting shot lined up here. You call me a middle-aged?
No. I mean, unless your reason for liking Pain Gaming was the fact that their name is funny and ironic. Yeah. If that was it, then I guess I am. But I think
partially it was, but it was also Kami and BRTT at the time. But by the way, fun fact:
Joe doesn't know the lore.
Sure.
Yeah, I was talking to 404 before we started the podcast, and I'm feeling particularly middle-aged right now because I'm suffering from some foot pain right now, which I suspect might be gout.
Oh,
and that is like one of the most middle-aged things I've like. Yeah, so right now I'm feeling particularly tender.
It's over for you, man. You can't be getting gout. No. No. Okay. So
yeah, I don't know. Painter the better team. They have the higher ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I would even say they have the higher floor because we have seen Cade be just
Cade's floor
abysmal
is
at times.
Low. It's very low.
Yeah. I mean, again, I come back to the mid lane matchup. I really think that's going to be kind of where it lives or dies, because as inconsistent as maybe Bull has or hasn't been, Weiser has been I think more consistent, but he's not been like the model of consistency, right? He hasn't been MVP Weiser just yet. And I think the question marks are still out there for Roamer, and if there's a lane you can target to just blast, and Desamas can be a very flexible guy to just go wherever the action needs him. I guess it's two schools of thought, and I think the question here is: do you go to shore up your bottom lane, which, as good as Trimby Mortes have been, could just get blasted by Titan Curry in a 2v2? Or do you go and accelerate an advantageous matchup in Miru and just get them and just get Miru monstrously ahead and get the fans really destabilized early with a Roamer game 1 crash out?
Yeah, I think with the way Miru is playing, I think that's probably a good idea. It's just like, it seems like any 2 LTA South players can deal with Miru right now.
Yeah.
So just keep riding that wave.
He's playing an absolute blinder right now.
Yeah, just pick Morteus, whatever scaler is highest on the tier list and available, and just bide your time and let him just cook, let him build up down there. Play for mid jungle.
Trust them to not die. Trust them to be safe, play intelligently, and just accelerate. I
just realized Rin never played Cade. Because I was thinking, is there like the mid laner who I think can handle Miru is Cosmic?
Yeah, but we haven't seen it.
Damn.
Nope. And we might not. We probably won't, to be honest. Because, I guess it depends on the presumed favorites being Furia and Red coming into next round, how that goes, which is probably going to be hype, actually. But
yeah,
we shall see.
That'll be a good match.
And then for Bowl, so Bowl into Weiser. Weiser is not like a go 4-0 in lane kind of guy. He'll get kills, but it's often when I see Weiser getting kills, it's because Robo is like under Weiser's tower like an idiot, and Weiser's like, okay, you can't do that. Like, I will just punish you for this. Real. And I don't think Bowl's that guy. He can because he's not necessarily playing carries a lot of games, and even then he's not trying to solo kill people anymore. We've seen that from Bowl on like Red Bowl days, and it didn't work. Didn't go very well. So Bowl is now playing quite sensibly. And so top lane might be, if Bowl's able to do, to completely contain the Gigo threat, I think he's probably able to do similar things with the Weiser threat. And then, it really just becomes a mid jungle matchup, which depends how Karaoke's playing,
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of guys who haven't exactly been the model of consistency.
He went from MVP down to that Red series. And then back up to the next Red series. So, hopefully that was the Red series was just a blip on the Karaoke radar, at which point he'd be presumably back to being basically the MVP of the league again, and then maybe he completely gaps. I don't know, man. These teams just can't keep it together from week to week, so it's hard to say who's going to show up.
The last time these two teams met up was Split 2 in the regular season, the best of threes. And you say Weiser isn't the guy to smash lane and carry. Weiser went 6-5-2 in their loss against Bowl. He went 6-1-6 as Jax in their win over Cade. And then the second win they got was 3-1-7. So I think Weiser can be the carry. He usually isn't, because he's up against people like frickin' Robo.
Yeah.
Like frickin' FNP. And look, all respect to Bowl. Bowl did just absolutely body Gigo in that series. But I think Weiser can be a carry. This is one of the matchups where I actually think we're probably going to see Weiser on Jax or something.
He can be. I think that when Weiser's going 6-1-6 on Jax, I'd have to watch the game back. Normally for me, that's he's 1-0-1 out of the laning phase, maybe even 0-0-1 out of the laning phase, and then a team fight rolls around, and because Pain have set it up properly, he starts popping off really hard, and he's probably 15 CS up out of the lane as well. He's really strong, but he doesn't sit under the opponent's tower. They don't even necessarily play to dive with him that much, I think, if I recall. So the lane isn't necessarily where he does this. I think Weiser Jax is a force of nature for sure, domestically. But the lane is, I think, not necessarily where that happens. So given what we saw in the Gigo lane, I'm expecting similar things. Now, that might be wrong, but it depends, because with what you can play in topside, I guess maybe the Rumble is the one pick where Weiser does really can really push. Yeah. But there's so many answers to Rumble now. We've all top laners spent
the last. If you want top lane pressure.
Yeah, that's true. We don't.
Aatrox,
When did we haven't seen a Renekton for so long? I feel like we haven't actually seen that
saw
much Renekton play.
Game 5 in Levisaurus, if I'm not mistaken. But
What? We need to we need a game 5 to push us to Renekton territory, maybe.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because.
Okay, he's played it once this split. It was against Red.
Well, there you go. Was it good?
Against the Yorick.
Was it good?
It's Yorick. Zothvi's classic 1-1 and 4 Renekton.
Game 3.
Okay. Sure. So there are carry threats. I suppose I'll concede that, but I think that there's not that much. Given, like, again, that Gigo actively plays carries to try and win the lane at all times and couldn't, I don't think Weiser is going to now be the person to do that, but even more. You know, I just don't think that he needs to, for one thing. But I could be wrong, but we shall see. You know, I'm always here for Bowl's downfall. So
That's hard.
Yeah. So
okay, what are you calling then, Trajan, for the game score with all this? Provocating, is that the word?
I think it's 3-1 Pain.
Same.
Yeah.
I would have been less anguished when saying it, but that is what I would have said too.
Yeah. Because of the momentum factor, because of Pain's strength as a momentum killer, and I think that now they've had that success in playoffs, in actual playoffs. I think they're going to be really juiced by that. And I think that VKS will, at some point, they won't be able to hold it together all the way. Because I think Furia actually, if anything, leaves more gaps right now in their game than Pain does on form.
100%.
So they don't have as much to exploit, and they won't be able to just sweep like more than one game away. And if they don't have the momentum and they start feeling like we should have won this, that we should be winning everything now because we're the best team and we know we are, and we shouldn't lose a game ever again because we're the goats. And then they do because it's Pain. They go, well, I guess we're trash, you know, like, and it just kind of, I think Pain just get amped up by that. So I think it goes like 1-1. It could actually just go 1-0 VKS and then reverse for Pain, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see that. So,
yeah.
Or Mirror just 1v9s the entire series and it's another 3-0 for VKS, and then they go to cross conference and they win it, and then they go to Worlds and they win that, and Mirror is the greatest player of all time. So
that'd be crazy. That arc would be amazing for CL, because CL did claim first.
He said 2025 was his year, you know what I mean? So it's what if it is? What if it is?
So far, so.
Add it to the long list of things CL has said.
Long list of utterances that he has made.
Of declarations by our boy.
Yes.
I also just feel like Pain is CL's kryptonite in a way, because Pain's skill floor is really high, and the problem is they actually have very exploitable strategic weaknesses, which I think Red, for example, has taken great advantage of. Loud traditionally has taken great advantage of them. Their draft is not amazing, but even though their weaknesses are very like out there, very visible, I actually don't think CL can really take advantage of it, because all you can do is you can only do a certain amount of damage with their set of weaknesses. It's not something that would just cause the entire team to break down. And then just the hands of the team has always been an issue that K-Stars has run into in the past. And I thought the Smalley roster, like with Smalley and Broads, that was their best roster for Cade. Mm-hmm. That was the magic roster with Gigo in the top lane forcing things open. And they couldn't beat Pain then. I don't think this roster can beat Pain. Yes, Miryu is
I was going to say, like, as far as the individual X factor goes, though, they might have that better. Because I think as good as Smiley was, I think that Morteus at his peak and then Miryu at his peak are better than their opposite numbers. I do agree that for whatever reason, that last roster felt more whole, maybe more balanced. Right? Higher floor, magic, if you will. Yeah. They did have the sauce, but no one ever thought they were going to beat Pain last time.
Well, but they almost did. And the thing is, Morteus is good, and I think Morteus is higher than Smalley. But I think the magic that Smalley had has not been matched by Morteus yet. Like, Morteus has not shown me the same highs that Smalley was riding towards the end there, specifically against Pain.
Dancing around them, though. He's closing in on that level. Sure. He is certainly doing that. I don't think
it's yet.
I don't think this is we're going to sit back and we're going to quietly reach 20 minutes on Yunara against Titan and Curry. I don't think that's going to be allowed to happen. No. I don't think that's happening. No. For one thing, Titan's going to steal the Yunara, and like, it's just that they're going to push really hard. And whether Morteus and Trimby, the 2v2 has always been the worst part of that lane. And Titan and Curry's 2v2 is like, it's sick. So I think that Morteus will not get as much of a free ride. He shouldn't have gotten that much of a free ride against Furia, because Furia never ganks bot lane because they're fools. So like, if you know, I think that bot lane will not be able to do the same. And like, even like the fact that Morteus, in some of those games, Morteus was literally irrelevant to those games. Like, he shows up and gets like one good team fight at the end, but they've already won the team fight. He's last hitting and the Nexus explodes. Morteus didn't really need to be there, you know?
Not to say Morteus was bad. He didn't
do anything wrong at all. He didn't do anything wrong at all.
His team had already won the game.
He didn't have to do anything at all. So
yeah, like, he could have put any AD carry there.
Yes,
and it would have worked.
yes.
Like freaking Snaker could have been there.
Yeah, well, well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But
the other problem too is that Miru is their strong point, but Pain has had years of playing with like not winning mid laner. Like, look, I love Jinkus, but Jinkido did not win his lane very frequently.
Like this. How are you going to do Jinkus like this, man?
Dude, I love
so
it,
crazy.
But my point is that even if Miru blows Roamer up, I think Pain can deal with it, and I don't think that strength is enough to overcome like what Wiser, Titan, Curry, and Karioka all bring to the table at the same time. And so I could see a 3-1, but I'm gonna call it 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 for Pain. Well, I mean, yeah, if Pain win game 1 decisively, they could just VKS could just go and just crumble. So
yeah, like I think CL and Kate just did phenomenally well with exploiting the weaknesses of Furia and just really.
Yep.
And Furia had an off day, and Kate brought it to them. I don't think Pain has that same sort of like real meltdown style weakness where you can really take advantage of it. The only way you do that is somehow you mind control Titan to play Kalista as the solo carry on that team.
Look, that's possible.
I bet he's looking at that AP Kalista build going, it's time.
It's
time to pull it out again.
If there's anyone in the league that is going to look at something like AP Kalista and think, if there's anyone that can make this work, it's me. That's
Titan. Me. That's for me right there.
But that's why I can give a 1-3. Because we're in full fearless, baby. Titan only doesn't want.
Maybe that's his happy game.
Wait, but the Titan Kallista's the only Kalista that can win games right now in LTA South. Oh,
now that y'all said that, they're going to be up 2-0. It's going to be a 3-0 sweep, and Titan's going to go.
Someone else.
I can Kalista, guys. I can break the curse. I can do.
I feel like
Dylan, we go Kalista here. No.
Last split. No, guys, no. I'm sure someone did it like last split. Someone dropped a Kalista, and it was like a completely mid AD carry who dropped like a 15 kill Kalista game for no reason. I don't remember who it was.
I have a bad feeling it might have been Titan.
Oh, it could have been. To be honest. Doesn't matter.
Because Titan was making the Kalista work when it shouldn't have. Same with
we should have moved on from it, and he was still doing it.
If it was him.
Anyway, so yeah, but we're a Pain favored here. We don't think the VKS train rolls them all the way to the finals without a blip. So we shall see. Right, let's take a look at a couple of questiones from Lunar Day here. So Lunar Day says, with 2 teams no longer with us this year, can we get a eulogy to our beloved orgs that won't play again until 2026? A 5-month gap for Fluxu W7M and Isurus Gaming. Now, Fluxu W7M, I'm not even expecting them to be called that next split. I'm expecting them to be something else.
Yeah.
So,
W7M, baby.
They may be gone and forgotten, sadly. And maybe for the best, because Fluxu's for sure out of there, I think. And
you just want Kaboom back, don't you, Jade?
Yeah, I'd take Kaboom over Fluxu W7M, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Get SCCP in here, get Stella up. get the gosh Corinthians in the league. Like, it's just not Fluxy, man. Come on, like it's
maybe not the Corinthians. They ruined a perfectly good Stella roster. I don't know how they did it, but they did.
Well, they can Fluxy's. They can just do the same thing then. Fluxy loves to ruin rosters. Like someone's got to do it. Like,
true.
Like, so anyway, I think Fluxy's dead and buried. W7M, who knows if they want to stick around? Like,
I think they want to. I have nothing to. That's just vibes. It makes sense. It's it feels like how like MIBR, right, a stalwart Brazilian org are talking like, oh, we want to get into League of Legends, right? And they have or had an Ignis Cup roster, MIBR, but like, yeah, W7M is they're renowned in R6, right, in Brazil. So it feels like the type of thing that they would want to get into. Whether it's a sound financial decision or not, I mean, history would tell you it's not. But
at least like there's still an energized, monetizable fan base in the LTA South.
Yep.
So it's all good, you know. So and then for ISG, you know, I think we just kind of have to hold the eulogy until they get relegated, potentially. Because then we'll have to do another more sad eulogy, you know?
Yeah, I think for now you just you get one of those like Catholic candles, right, with Jose Deodo's face on it, doing one of these or whatever.
Yeah.
And one of these, right, and then you pray to that every day, sacrifice whatever small animal you have to make it happen, and we hope that they don't get relegated.
Yeah, they're in like
I just hope Samudo has
right
more
now.
fun in Brazil than he's had so far.
Yeah, they could come back. They're in purgatory. They're in limbo. They could be revived. You know, they can see the light, but they're not yet walking towards it. And we'll see if Kaboom or whoever shows up to just reach out from the light.
They're in coma on life support, but they're not dead yet.
Yeah, the shepherd's crook just comes out and out you go. So we'll save the eulogy for ISG until they get maybe relegated. And right now we'll simply pray to Jose for deliverance from that fate. Because it would. I don't want to see Isurus get relegated as an org. Honestly, agreed. I don't want to lose the LLA presence. Leviathan's obviously with us for the long haul, and given what they've shown, that's not as grim as it maybe is looked at times. So that's all right. We don't have any. There's no other like LLA stuff in CD, right? Like there's no like specifically LLA brands.
There's LRN and LRS.
Yeah, the LRN and LRS will be in the promotion tournament.
So the LRS
will be competing against NACL. LRS will be against CD.
Yeah, Astral, they ever since their divorce from ISG, they're trying to get in an LRN. So
they just lost, by the way.
Did they? With the super roster?
They're in the lower bracket now. They lost to SDM.
Oh, okay.
Lamau.
Damn.
So does LRS play to get into CD?
They play against CD, so they're equivalent to CD.
Right.
Yeah,
in the promotion relegation for the chance to play against this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
They've got a hilarious team called Lechuga Gaming that Lunar brought to my attention.
Lechuga!
Their thing is literally just like I think it's a cat wrapped in lettuce.
Lechuga means lettuce.
That's based.
Yeah. I checked it in our chat. So you can
let's go Uruguay for this team.
They've been knocked out, but it's just a really funny logo.
I am so sad that they've been locked down. But this is what esports should be, man. Like we should have the Corinthians playing against Lettuce Cat Gaming for a spot in the tier 1 region. This is what esports should be.
By the way, the team I think who's doing the best right now is Farenpen. And there's an old name some people might remember. Enga is their middle laner.
Did he go by something else?
No, Enga was just the name he went by, but he played in Brazil for a little bit on a team called Renzga.
That's probably I don't remember him because he was one of 20 to 50 players that.
I'm trying to remember if he split time with. Which mid laner did he split time with?
Was it with Goku or something?
Oh, it was House. He split time with House.
That's crazy.
Back in the day,
dude. If you were to like make a list of like I bet you could connect 3 or 4 degrees of separation. Any player who has ever played in LTA South, I bet you could do 6 degrees of separation, and one of those would go through House.
Nice.
I mean, Renska would account for like half of that because that Renska roster he was on had Trigo, by the way, as AD carry. And Engel was playing AD carry actually at that time, so he was splitting time with Trigo, and then he switched to mid and Renska Academy. That same split because it was the whole like rotating thing where he was splitting time with Hao was in the mid lane. So this guy's been like everywhere. Kiari was in that roster too.
So good, dude.
Hell yeah.
Kiari. Is Kiari in CD? What's he up to?
Yeah, he's still in CD.
Kiari is in CD. He's actually doing pretty decently. He's on the upper bracket.
Yeah,
fantastic.
With Drake Hero. So the Liberty guys have reconnected.
Definite D's. Okay. Second question from the day is: do you think Tier 1 Brazil has gotten so much better since you started casting CBLOL? because watching ISG versus Lev was extremely painful. That's LLA. But it felt like a Loud versus Pain finals, from when Loud was putting Pain in their place. I know you guys love it when I make you compare something to our LTA South teams, so can we get LTA South comparison to Candy as the second part? So the first part being, do we think Tier 1 Brazil is better than when we started? Then, well, at least from, because you guys are even further back than I am. So
this came up because I actually said this on stream yesterday, that I feel like it's gotten a lot better. And ISG Love is better than what we started with. At least they know what a dragon is. But at the same time, like, it felt worse because the level has increased so much. Yeah, that ISG Love felt like, yeah, like a departure back to maybe like 2022-ish. 20, yeah.
Yeah, like you think back to, like, you know, Renska versus Netshi's Miners.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That was exactly the match I was thinking of.
I think we're probably ahead of that. But like, yeah, the understanding of the game is for sure a lot better. I think our top flight is demonstrably more competitive than they were, especially like back at that sort of 2022, sort of 23 time. I think that there are still obvious hallmarks of the region's culture there in terms of the type of plays that sometimes get attempted, right? Like, sometimes there are very overly hyphy plays that a more restrained region would not go for necessarily.
Yeah.
But not even that they never do, that they just don't do it as much. Like, because the LPL still has, like, the Shy, right? Who still does stuff like that. And it's not that dissimilar to things that Brazilian players do, but we have more players like that who, especially off the Rift, reinforce that as an attitude, which kind of, when you see them do it, it informs your mental image of why are they doing that. And it's not like they've calculated 10,000 futures and they've actually done the sums and they think it works. It's because
it is definitely not that.
The blood's pumping in their ears and they're like, I am going to kill this guy right now.
It.
Yeah,
hey, do it, coward.
And there are players like that in every region. There's just, I think there is still definitely a higher concentration of that here, and that is like a cultural thing. I think that's fine, and I think it's fun, right? So it is better, but it is not really that different. I think the things that make it what it is are still there, but we definitely have better coaches. So
the players have definitely gotten better too. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we definitely have better coaches. Some of the new talent, especially when you look at players like Tattoo, like, have come in with more than just raw ability. They're coming in with a good mind for the game as well. And I think that does speak to, again, the volume and the value of the academy system, which we have been speaking about for 3 or 4 years now, but that kind of thing doesn't happen overnight. It feeds into a stronger region over years as that talent trickles up, which is what has happened. So I think there's a through line there as well.
Or like Desamis or even Morteus. Like, Morteus is an AD carry especially. It's like the most restrained promotion we've seen in years. I still remember Juliera coming up and trying to smash lane and just getting his face kicked in.
Yeah, it definitely didn't work all the time, but yeah. I mean, when we did this comparison to Pokemon, we had Brennon, who was like a Pokemon encyclopedia in human form. It was like a Pokedex, just in human form, which helped a lot. Now, depending on which region you live in, the candy is obviously different. So my idea of what candy or sweets is going to be very different to an American or Brazilian assumption.
Yeah.
We don't
have, there's no Cadbury here in America, right?
How do you not have?
No, but I know what Cadbury is.
Yeah, so Cadbury is like a sort of middle upper class quality option. It's not like a Ferrero Rocher, you know, or it's not like fancy, but it's better than like Maltesers, you know. It's better than like a Mars bar. It's like viewed as higher quality than that.
Mars bars are great.
Mars bars are good, but they're like the common man's chocolate bar. And Cadbury is like has a little bit more of like a little more snobbishness to it, just a tiny bit,
Well,
I feel like the everyman's chocolate bar here, and I don't know if they have this. I imagine they have it in Canada. I don't know if they have it in the UK. Is a Snickers bar.
Yeah, you got Snickers. Yeah, that's like a bog standard.
I feel like
doing
Snickers,
the job.
Yeah, like it's my, like, not to do their marketing for them, but I think that the the Snickers satisfies, right? You're not you when you're hungry, have a Snickers.
Yeah.
I like a Snickers because I know that I know when I'm craving a candy bar and I'm at the end of the at the supermarket and they got the candy bars there. I'm like, shit, I don't need one of these, but okay, whatever. I will always take a Snickers because I won't feel just empty afterwards. I'm like, okay, that was a waste of 400 calories or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Snickers, it does fill you up a little bit. It gets you what you need out of a candy bar.
I think that's probably Leviathan right now. I think they're the working man's team.
Just so not what I thought you were going to say.
What did you think I was going to say?
Oh yeah,
not Leviathan. I don't know.
Because they're not like they serve a purpose. They're not blowing anyone's hair back, but they are perfectly serviceable. You don't like it. Doesn't hurt to watch them like it has done in the past. Like, no, it doesn't. RMC, no, it doesn't.
Let Ayashi heard.
We've gotten over our peanut allergy.
Look, it doesn't hurt to watch them as much as it did. So maybe you've got a mild peanut intolerance, but it's that like they're just where they are, because even Loud, which is one above them, has more X factor than a Snickers does.
Well, who else would you call a Snickers for?
I was gonna say like Loud, where like it is just kind of like it is just satisfying. Like you get some high level play, and then you get some absolutely what the hell was that? Like I feel like I took it as more like you get everything you need, right? Yeah. It is the complete experience, or even Pain in some respects, where you get some absolutely like mind numbing moments, but you get some moments where you're like, damn, what is very Brazilian is an 80 carry just going nuclear on kids. So that was my
because kind of Fury is like that as well now, because they're like dropping absolute stinkers with IU doing Yasuo bot lanes and also like completely running it down. Like 3 out of 4 or 5 of our top teams are like this now, sadly, which is unfortunate.
We're not very consistent. I had Loud more as like Skittles, like Taste the Rainbow. Like they are wild, they're funny, they are
overstimulating.
Marketing. Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect word for it. They're overstimulating. I mean, Griffin's abs are just built different. So
and like everyone likes Skittles, right? Like there's a lot of Skittles fans and there's a lot of Loud fans. So I never think Skittles is a great shot for Loud. Yeah.
I am very split on Pain Gaming. Part of me thinks like they're the Ferrero Rochers of
they are like
the league. Like
what's the gold standard?
They're expensive, But the other part of me wants to call them a Kopiko. That's like the only Korean candy I know because they are very Korean. As far as the team goes. Also, they are a little bit bitter at times. It's like a coffee candy,
right?
Like they're a little bit bitter sometimes to be a fan of.
But
also they stimulate your heart rate, so there's that. Also.
Yeah, they do raise your heart rate abnormally high.
Yeah,
I'm down for that. Branding's also black and red, which helps.
True. Is it black and red? Actually,
it's black, red, and white.
I remember it's brown and okay. Yeah.
Okay.
What else we got?
Isurus. Who are they?
Like, what is Isurus as an org right now? Like, they're just kind of. Are they bounties? Like,
what are bounties?
They're like the coconut ones that some people just really don't like. It feels like bounties are not popular. I think bounties are controversial chocolates, but maybe that's Fluxu. No, Fluxu W7N's a bounty. Because like some people absolutely hate them and like they're just like they will refuse to eat them. They will throw them back in the celebrations tin. And like people just claim that they're the worst chocolates ever. I think they're fine. Okay. I quite like them, but like
I was thinking licorice for Fluxu W7M, but
that's also a good shout for a similar reason.
Is not
black and white, terrible.
Black and white, disgusting. Like,
well, that's a bounty too, no? Like I assume because you said bounties are like coconut chocolates, right? So
they're like brown and white.
What I assume. Brown and white. Yeah.
I think licorice is a more advanced version of that, and I like that for the same reason. Yeah, just yeah.
But Isurus, do you guys have Aero? The Aero chocolate.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
So it's like it's a chocolate, which is actually not. It's quite nice, but basically they aerate it so there's bubbles inside, so it's very light.
It's very smooth and it melts in your mouth
also
quite easily.
Yeah, but it also feels like a scam because when you pay for it, like,
yeah, it's also hollow. Like,
yeah.
So is it Cade? You're being fed a bunch of false promises.
Whoa, maybe split.
Actually,
split
Isrus is a bit
Cade,
hollow because like they've got Zamudo, they've got Jose Deoda, they've got Sneaker.
Yeah,
Ackerman,
they came in with
big names on the surface, but like
Summit
they were kind of
yeah,
hollow inside.
Jose and
I'm fine with that for Cade too.
Yeah, let's give it to Asurus present day. Split 1 and 2. That's a fair Cade shout. Yeah.
And it's just you know, they won quote unquote the first split here in the South, right? It looked really good.
Yes, they did.
Underneath, yeah, it's kind of empty. So
what's red? Is red like the what are they called? Like not nuclear waste, but like
what? What?
They're like super toxic waste. They're like super sour. Like
warheads.
Kind of, yeah. Like so, there's warheads and there's toxic waste, and I think they're probably similar, but they're like really sour, like strong, punchy.
I think warheads is great because also like warheads is like it's very because red even though FNB
it's the same idea.
Better of all veterans.
Same idea. So warheads might be a more regionally appropriate choice. Yeah, the UK one version is called toxic waste.
That's hilarious. That's INTZ, man.
Yeah, if they were still here, they could be toxic waste. Okay, yeah, Fred could be warheads. Pain's could be Pico. Fluxu is licorice. Loud are Skittles. Isrus is Arrow. Leviathan is a Snickers.
Snickers, yeah.
So then we have Furia and Cade.
Furia for me. I mean, maybe this is just because it's the only one like left for me to attach this to. But do you guys have Three Musketeers?
Yes.
No.
So Three Musketeers is actually my favorite candy bar, but I know it won't like fill me up because it's just like chocolate with chocolate inside of it, and it is it is wonderful.
Yeah.
But it never like after I have one, I'm like, I enjoyed that tremendously, but now that it's over, I just really need some water.
Oh, so like split 2 for Furia into split 3, where you've had one split
like,
and now they're.
And like I want to enjoy this a lot more, but there's something missing, and like I know what I'm getting myself into, but like, yeah. So I'm willing to take that.
It sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have Three Musketeers, which leaves Cade.
VKS.
Which does need to be. I think it needs to come with like also an air of like we're the best about it, you know, that maybe doesn't quite deliver on being as good as it is. For me, that's like Galaxy chocolate. I think people think that Galaxy chocolate is like fancy and premium and great, and then it's just like doesn't taste as good as Cadbury's or like other chocolate. Or like the Galaxy caramel like blocked bars that you can get. Just
what are the eggs? I know Cadbury had an egg, right? The Cadbury eggs are
cream eggs.
Kinder.
Or
and not even that, like Kinder eggs, there we go. Yeah, where there's like a little toy inside of it. You never know what you're gonna get, right?
Yeah, and sometimes it's just awful.
Okay, a bit of an old man rant, but is it me or the toys in Kinder eggs used to be better?
we don't have Kinder eggs.
Yeah,
that is your most boomer take, and you literally might have gout, so that's saying something.
Yeah,
but
man with gout says Kinder eggs used to be better when he was younger.
Let's get
okay, so it actually is me. Never mind. Okay, go on.
No, but I mean, I can't really say because I used to live overseas and we had Kinder eggs there, and then I moved to the US and they were a thing here for like a hot sec. But now I think Kinder eggs are banned in the US because kids would choke on the toys. So actually, I'm gonna check in case I'm talking about
there's something called Darwinism. I feel like that needs to be applied. Like, if your kids are choking on that, that's a you problem.
I also think Kinder eggs are nasty, and I don't like them, which is fair because I'm like I'm kind of a VKS hater for most of the split and year.
I prefer the Kinder Buenos.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was about to say. Kinder Buenos are like universally adored, and I think Kinder eggs kind of suck. And I don't like Kinder Buenos that much either. I'm just not the fan of like Kinder stuff, but I think Kinder egg is fair. Because it promises a lot. It promises a sick toy in the middle, and sometimes you just get dross, and it's like, oh, and the chocolate wasn't even that good either. Like, no.
And you know what? Cade used to be better. No, I'm kidding.
Well, so far,
I actually think the current Cade is actually really good.
Until they finish at least second, then they still used to be better. You know, like they have to finish second to be at least as good as the previous iteration was.
Yeah, see how if you watch this, I actually think the current Cade is better.
Yeah, I think they probably are. And like, because Cade, do they have a championship from like 2011 or something?
2014.
Did they win one? Oh, yeah.
Haven't they won
2014 split one, and yeah, and it's because MSI wasn't a thing back then, so they never got to go international.
Yeah.
So Cade has never been international, but now they will. Lowercase I, but they will.
Lowercase I. There you go. So that's fair. Okay, I think that's actually pretty good. I think we did better on that than I thought. But with that, let's wrap it up. Thank you everybody for watching / listening. We will be live on Twitch as usual at LTA South on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for all 3 games. So make sure to set your alarms. And as always, feel free to follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, LTA South. Join the community Discord. You can submit questions and we will answer them on the podcast. You can join a fantasy league. You can talk to us about the league. You can talk to us about whatever you want, to be honest. And we think it's a good time. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And we will see you this Friday for the next round of playoffs.
Yeah. Chat, comment below. Back me up. Kinder Surprises seems to be better.
Don't enable them, guys. Don't enable them.